In the last lesson, we saw the format of the ATS flight plan. The completion of this type of flight plan is time-consuming, and so for certain circumstances, it is possible to use a repetitive flight plan, or RPL. This reduces the workload on ATS units. The format of a repetitive flight plan is shown on page 442 of the Jeppesen Manual. There are strict rules governing the use of a repetitive flight plan, and failure on the part of the operator to comply may result in the cancellation of the flight plan. The repetitive flight plan can only be used for IFR flights which operate on the same day of consecutive weeks for at least 10 weeks, or every day for a period of at least 10 days. Permanent changes to an RPL should be submitted in the form of an amendment, at least 7 days prior to the change becoming effective. If, for operational reasons, the route or aircraft identification has to be changed on one particular occasion, the RPL is cancelled for that day and an individual ATS flight plan is submitted. It is the responsibility of the operator to inform the concerned air traffic unit of any expected changes to the RPL. We will now look at some of the individual items of the flight plan. Most of the column headings are self-explanatory, but some need clarification. On the top row, you can see in item A the name of the operator. In B, the addressee, which is the name of the agency designated by the state to administer repetitive flight plans. In C, the departure aerodrome. In D, the 6-figure submission date in year, month and day. In E, the serial number, which is the last 2 digits of the year, followed by the sequential number of submissions for that year. In this case, this is the 12th submission. And lastly, in item F, the page numbers. Underneath item F is item G, which is headed Supplementary Data. This concerns the information which is contained in item 19 of the ATS flight plan. You will remember that item 19 is not transmitted, except in an emergency. The RPL is no exception to this rule, and so in item G is written the name of the contact who has access to that data. In column H, a plus sign is for a new or additional entry, and a minus sign for the entry to be deleted. Items I and J are the valid from and valid until sections. These use a similar 6-figure date function, which we discussed in item D. The first 2 digits are the year, 90 being 1990. The next 2 digits are the month, so month 04 is April. And the last 2 digits are the day of the month, 01 being the first. Under the days of operation in item K, day 1 is Monday, 2 is Tuesday, and so on. If the flight is not operating on a particular day, a 0 is placed in the appropriate column for that day. For example, this flight is operating on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday only. Moving on from item K to item L, you can see the aircraft identification, which is actually the same as item 7 on the ICAO flight plan. Then we have the aircraft type and wake turbulence category, item 9 on the ICAO flight plan, and the departure off-block time, item 13 on the ICAO flight plan. In item O, you can see the route information, such as cruising speed, which is the true airspeed in knots, the same as item 15 in the ICAO flight plan, the level, and the route details. The last 2 items are the destination aerodrome and total elapsed time, which is the same as item 16 in the ICAO flight plan. And finally, the remarks item, item Q,